Hey, happy Monday. So, welcome back to another week. But what happens when people don't understand you? As we walk into this Monday, the understanding piece can be one of you don't know how my weekend went, you don't know what the kind of night's sleep that I got, all kinds of those things lend into understanding. And so, as leaders, one of the things that we have to consider is what does this look like to understand people well? And I actually had two instances this morning that brought this topic to light in the first place. And so it's spring break here, and my kiddos are home. If you can't hear them a little bit in the background. And so we decided to go and get donuts this morning to celebrate the first day of spring break. And the interesting thing is that I pre-ordered on Dunkin', got in line, did the whole shindig. They already had all of my donuts packaged at the front of all the things that my kids had wanted. And the interesting thing is that it was sitting right there. There was too many cooks in the kitchen, and there was miscommunication that happened, and the lead person that was there was moving on to the next task without making sure that she communicated to the person that was standing at the window who that was. Well, in that moment, this caused a huge blow up, and I'm just witnessing it from my car of the person who was the subordinate getting angry with the leader because they weren't paying attention. Because the leader felt, and I understood that it seemed very obvious, and having been in a leadership position, a lot of times as leaders, we feel like the things that we're talking about are uber obvious, and that the people that follow us should just understand that because the box of donuts was sitting there by the window, that means that thus that is the one that needs to go out the window. And so ended up getting handed the wrong box, handing it back, then getting the correct box in the process of this blow up. And it got me thinking about, okay, what is this? How do we get people to understand us more so that we don't have these miscommunications? Now, on the flip side, I was getting ready this morning, and my 5-year-old, I needed her to grab something out of my bag, and it's a yellow brush that makes your hair poofy. And so that round brush I had her get, and I described it to her, except there was something else that was yellow in my bag. There was a yellow shirt. And so because she hooked onto the yellow piece and she asked for a clarifying question of, is it the yellow shirt or is it the yellow brush? Even though I had said brush at the very beginning, I repeated myself and said, hey, yeah, it's the brush. Can you grab that? She went ahead and grabbed both because instead of having to go back and do it again, she went ahead and just brought both things that were yellow because that's the piece that she hung on to, that she understood. And so when we think about the ways that we're describing things to people, how we're creating that extra layer of communication and saying, how can I help you understand me more? How do I understand you more? And in that process, get rid of some of these in between pieces that are happening. Because so many times when I work with teams, the issue isn't that there's anybody bad on the team or that anybody's not good at their job, which tends to be the first thing that we do, or, they're not very good at that. Oh, if they were just more efficient. Oh, if they just showed up on time, if they just did X, Y, and Z, then our organization would work better. Then we would make more money. Then the bottom line would be better. Then the stockholders wouldn't be mad at us. Then the boss would be happy with X, Y, and Z. However, a lot of the time it comes down to the communication and people not understanding. And at most of the time, people having good intentions of where they want to go next in an organization and how they want to grow themselves and in their career. And then not knowing what was the objective that I was going towards. What am I being measured on? What is the expectation for this role or what I'm doing? And as leaders, it is our job to say, hey, as a fill in the blank, this is your A, B, C, and D goals for this role. And this is how this is getting measured. Because if we can't measure it, it doesn't really exist. Let's be honest. Because at the end of the day, I need to be able to see the progress with somebody. So even when we're measuring things like happiness and more emotional pieces, we need to see that there's more of it happening over a period of time. So even if these soft skills that we're talking about, like communication and understanding, there is ways to measure that. Like, what does it look like? What are things that we can tag into that are metrics that we're already paying attention to? So if I know that, I use this with my entrepreneur clients all the time, is if I know that my emails are getting opened, that tells me that I'm clearly communicating something in the subject line that gets people interested enough to click. If I also have a call to action in that email that's not getting clicked, that tells me that I do not have the clarification and the understanding or the right audience that is getting that email. So now that I know that, now I can start telling better stories, having better copy, targeting more specifically the people that I need to be targeting, and doing some of those things that are more soft skills oriented into the hard skills of the data so that we can see it over time. So this week, as you're doing things, ask yourself, how can I create more understanding in what I'm doing in every aspect of my life and my business? This can be used not just in the office, it can be used in the car rider line picking up your kids from school. It can be used with your spouse or your partner. It can be used with your friends that you're on the phone with or with your family. So think about ways that I can make more understanding. I can understand myself, I can understand my people, and I can understand the needs that need to be had so that my words get translated correctly to the people that I'm trying to speak to. So I will see you all tomorrow on Kabrina Unscripted.